long before city councilmen debated lottery bills, and long before Georgetown got polished with cafes and boutiques, Roger Whitetop Simpkins was already a ghost in the system. Whitetop got his nickname from the shock of his prematurely white hair. He operated mostly out of Eckington, Trinidad, and the Florida Avenue Market Corridor. Middlemen loved him, cops feared him, and politicians pretended not to know him. Whitetop didn't flash his money, no fancy suits, no entourage. His power came from being invisible, disciplined, and smarter than the men crashing around him. In the community, people saw him as a necessary evil, a guy who paid out on time and gave loans when no banks were willing to help black neighborhoods. In the 1950s and early 60s, DC wasn't giving loans to most black homeowners, barbershops, grocers, musicians, or restaurants. So the numbers racket became a shadow banking system of sorts. It was illegal, but it felt more fair than anything the government offered. When people needed rent money, funeral money, or a startup loan, they didn't go to the bank first. They went to the numbers man. And in many parts of Northeast and Northwest, that man was Whitetop. Whitetop's numbers game was as lucrative as any white man ran game in town. He first came to the attention of police in the 1940s, when he ran a numbers racket out of the Georgia Avenue home of his girlfriend, Sarah Dimples Hall. The prevailing narrative at the time was that number runners had taken over DC. In 1951, Congress decided to attack the problem. Operators were dragged into hearing rooms for interviews that captivated the city. Dimples Hall was one of the witnesses. Wearing a mink-trimmed Persian lamb coat, she testified that Whitetop ran his numbers game in her house from 1940 to 1945. A half dozen workers would count up the river of money, up to $4,000 a day on adding machines. In 1955, Whitetop and 5 other gambling figures went on trial. They were charged with bribery and conspiracy to commit bribery. Also on trial were 2 officers. Simpkins was accused of bribing. Whitetop was found guilty, as were both of the dirty cops. He was sentenced to 16 to 54 months for bribery. After suffering a mild heart attack 3 years into his stint at Lorton Reformatory, he was released. Whitetop returned and resumed business. But by the mid-60s, he noticed a shift. Younger guys preferred fast drug money over slow, steady numbers money. And the biggest threat wasn't the cops anymore, it was the city council. In 1973, DC got limited home rule. Therefore, Congress wasn't funding the city the way it used to. So in closed-door sessions, council members floated a radical idea: create an official District of Columbia lottery, tax it, regulate it. Whitetop saw the writing on the wall. The government wasn't just coming for him. They were studying him. The illegal numbers game didn't die because the police crushed it. It died because the government copied it. When the DC lottery launched in the early 1980s, the marketing felt eerily familiar. It was the street numbers game, legalized and digitized. Whitetop's world had been reverse engineered and wrapped in government paper. Roger Whitetop Simpkins faded into semi-obscurity. He didn't die violent. He didn't flee the city. He just disappeared behind the curtain. He passed away in 1973 at the age of 73. Salute to an innovative mind and visionary. Long live Whitetop.